Good evening. My name is Sylvester Lazarus. I'm an artist, digital painter, self-proclaimed charlatan, and most importantly, your host for today. Also, I just lit that ceramic pumpkin lantern, and I have no idea if it's going to work, or if it's going to go out, or if I'm going to turn this video into a review for this nice little fire extinguisher. And if that happens, I hope that I'll be able to give a good review. And if during the video just a black spot appears behind my back, then you know that you know what happened. And the only thing I hope is that you, dear viewer, are not watching from my insurance company, because that would be awkward. I want to tell you a story. It all started on the October 1st in 2020. That was the day when I decided to participate a challenge for the first time, named Mab's Drawlloween Club 2020. This challenge has been going on for years, maybe this is the year 8 if I remember correctly. The challenge was created by American artist Mab Graves, so this is explicitly a Halloween themed art challenge. How this challenge works is that Mab came up with 31 prompts for the 31 days of October, all Halloween related, and every participant, if they want to of course, can create an artwork for all 31 of those prompts. But other than that, there are no rules, it's just a fun challenge. The whole point of it is to get creative, to see what other people come up with for the same prompts, maybe learn a few things along the way, such things. Now in 2022, this is my third year participating. You could actually watch through the whole saga on my channel. Long story short, in 2020 I managed to create 23 pretty basic digital paintings during the month of October, and I was really happy that I managed to do that many. Then last year I started almost an entire month early, and it was somewhat of a mess for me, because I really wanted to create something more unique, so I started messing around in Blender and adding all these animations to the pictures. And actually I ended up working on it for 3 months. The thing was that it was like a really overwhelming project for me, and I knew that this year I will need to really put myself into it and not replicate last year's strange performance. I wanted to do something new this year, and I decided to create one giant Halloween art piece with all 31 prompts on it. And this is the video of how that turned out. This is already October 31st, so if you are seeing this, congratulations to me, I managed to finish the video, and I hope that you will enjoy it. This is Mab's Drawlloween Club 2022. 31 prompts for the 31 days of October. I will make a painting for each prompt, then I'll combine them into one giant Halloween painting. Prompt number 1. Spooky self-portrait. This is my third year participating, and I always made a self-portrait. Maybe the one from the last year is more accurate than this one? I just really wanted to go crazy with this idea, turning myself into this disgusting devilish creature who is salivating blood and has a broken horn and everything and just looks really nasty. And this is going to be the center of the big picture, me painting the Halloween world around myself. What a nice way to start this whole giant project. Prompt number 2. Glampire. Maybe I'm missing some sort of crucial information, but hearing that prompt immediately makes me think about our favorite glowing vampire Edward Cullen. I cannot think of any other scenario where I made a fan art of Twilight, so let's just take this opportunity. I only saw them exactly once, 10 years ago when the last movie came out, but I was familiar with the memes, everybody making fun of this whole franchise, only for me to realize later that it's not even really that bad. I was especially a fan of the whole atmosphere of the region where it takes place. Holding on to that, I made this quick portrait of Edward so he can appear on my giant picture alongside other monster movie icons. Prompt number 3. Dragon Wagon. These are one of those pictures that are referencing this version of Henry Fuseli's The Nightmare. That ghostly horse from the background is replaced with the dragon peeking out from the wagon. I still haven't mentioned that the different scenes from the big picture are recreations of classical paintings. And this one is going to be one of the tiny corners of the picture. I added that lantern to this picture and it is going to illuminate some of the characters close by, effectively connecting them through a piece of atmospheric lighting. Also, Oregon Trail reference on the side. Prompt number 4. Space case. For this prompt I decided to make a picture of the scenario when the impostor is sus. Please don't click away, I stopped the references. No, I'm not late with this meme, it's only been like 2 years. Shut up. Yes, I made a fan art of the red impostor from the game Among Us, inspired by many works of Nightrix. It is just something that every artist needs to do at least once. It is just a very important task that you'll have to complete. I'll see myself out, it was a nice painting to do, and bye! Prompt number 5. Witch Wednesday. You might not know this about me, but I'm mainly a Harry Potter fan artist and I'm not going to make exceptions for these challenges either. For this prompt I painted Hermione from Goblet of Fire when she finds out about the smear campaign that is being orchestrated against her. She's holding the new issue of the Witch Weekly where she managed to get on the front page because of the love triangle that Rita Skeeter made up. Only if Rita knew what was waiting for her after this stunt. Prompt number 6. Botanical beasts. Well, I had a really vague idea when I started this picture and it just started growing and growing. Some people would say that I managed to channel the spirit of H.R. Giger, which is true in the sense that this picture is really similar to many of his works. Instead of all the mechanical parts, I used botanic elements in order to depict certain organs, body parts. I didn't intend to put any specific messages into this picture, but I know that many people will see it that way, so I'm just going to let everyone come up with their own conclusions, and that's it. Prompt number 7. Yokai Day. I skipped the prompt yokai twice in a row, so I decided that if there is one on this year's list, I am going to make a picture of a yokai. I went with arguably the most famous yokai, Shutendoji. He used to be a human who put on a mask to play pranks on people, but later he realized that the mask got fused to his face. After becoming a monster, he started turning other people as well, until the emperor himself had to send a warrior to defeat them. Shutendoji didn't die after they cut off his head and they had to bury it, and according to the legend it is still out there somewhere. Prompt number 8. Banded. I was in trouble with this prompt. I originally wanted to make an undead Pennywise in boxing gloves or something like that, but that's lame. Then I came up with this one, a picture of Sherry Moon Zombie. Yes, she is literally an undead and has a moon balloon in her hand. My final version. The appearance was based on her look from this music video and on some promotional material. Definitely one of the weaker pictures of the collection, but I'm mostly satisfied with how it turned out. Prompt number 9. Scarewolf. Do you know the feeling when you try to create an artwork based on the classic painting The Scream, featuring some cartoon werewolf who is getting scared by a herd of sheep, only to later realize that you accidentally made him look like a young Michael Jackson, and now it has certain implications that you never intended? Well, that feeling must be bad, but fortunately I've never experienced it in real life, and I forgot what I wanted to say, so just goodbye for now. Prompt number 10. Lagoon Creature feature. I've never seen the original Black Lagoon movies, only the Shape of Water, also known as the objectively superior version, fight me. But everybody knows that the first one was an exceptionally hard movie to make. I had this idea that they hired an actual amphibian man to star in the film, but nobody could shoot underwater, so they had to come up with a costume, and the real amphibian man was the cameraman, never to be seen in the movie. That's why he's crawling out the water with the original film strip, and with an annoyed expression. Prompt number 11. Cult costume. Yet another one of those. I wouldn't make a fan art of this outside of this project pictures. This is a picture of Cassandra, one of the main characters of the game Assassin's Creed Odyssey. During the game you encounter this organization called the Cult of Cosmos. There is a segment when the player has to infiltrate one of their meeting wearing the clothes and mask of a previously killed member. The weapon in the character's hand is the broken spear of King Leonidas of Sparta, which is not just an artifact but Cassandra's main weapon in the game. It's nothing complicated, but I especially like the atmosphere of this picture. Prompt number 12. Game of Bones. I'm sure many people will make the exact same thing for this prompt. Yes, I made a throne made out of bones that resembles this throne made out of swords in the Song of Ice and Fire. Also highly inspired by this chapel from the Czech Republic. A little detail, it also features the bones of a giant or some other big humanoid creature in the middle without any other context. And yes, in the final picture this is going to be the throne I'll be sitting on. Therefore I'll have to mention that all of these bones are ethically sourced. I mean plastic, these are plastic bones. Prompt number 13. I wanted to make something unique for this prompt instead of making Jason Voorhees or something with the superstition around the number 13. And this is a picture of Heather O'Rourke. Her most famous movie, Poltergeist, was a movie I've seen many times around the age of 13 or 14. Then I later learned that she struggled with her health for years and passed away barely a month after her 12th birthday. My idea was to make a painting of her as an angel, celebrating her 13th birthday on the 27th of December 1988. Prompt number 14. Ghoul Scout. Here's the thing, I don't know about the rest of the world, but scouts were never really a thing in my country for the last 40 years or something, so I always just saw them in western cartoons like Disney's Up or Camp Lazlo, and ghouls are also not a thing in Hungarian pop culture. Anyways, I based my ghoul character on many depictions of the creepypasta character the Rake, just casually frightening the viewer in a cemetery at the middle of the night, and most likely earning the Scaring Humans badge in the process. Prompt number 15. Better Day. What is the favorite drink of the vegetarian vampire? Blood orange juice, of course. How do you paint a bed on Sunday? That was my question before starting this one. Make a Saturday evening scene. Give the bed a cozy blanket. Don't forget about the laws of gravity. Do forget to ask the question, shouldn't that carton of blood orange juice be bigger compared to the bed's body? And you are going to have yourself some nice time.
But excuse me, how can that bed sip up so much juice with that giant straw from that little cup?
Technical difficulties, will be right back. Prompt number 16. Build a Beast. It is time for me to make a Five Nights at Freddy's fan art. I never actually played these games, I've only seen a full playthrough, and I have also seen that approximately 1 billion game theory episodes of it, up until Ultimate Custom Night. By far my favorite character is Baby, maybe because she was narrating Sister Location almost all the way through, but I just think that maybe she's the one who has one of the most tragic stories in this whole game. It just fits into this this prompt because she was literally created to be a murderer. I mean, how can you not relate to that? Prompt number 17, a lot of legs. My main goal for this picture was to freak out even those who don't have arachnophobia. No, it's not true. I just made it up. I was just experimenting with creating the most gruesome spider ever seen to humanity, and like this is what I came up with. Nothing special, it was one of those easier pictures where I was just not really putting in any serious effort. I was just goofing around and see what comes out of it. Here that I'm not even going to re-record that segment because I am, how should I say, going to take this one easy. Prompt number 18, Hair is Scary. Lately I have some newly found appreciation towards Rob Zombie and all his creations. After adding Sherry Moon to my picture, I somehow wanted to include Rob Zombie as well. So I ended up slapping together a few of his visual elements for a portrait. I have to say that it started pretty weak, but then the lighting effect and the whole rendering saved it. Or at least made it live up to my minimal expectations. For the first time there are many things that I wanted to fix on this picture, but I will sadly not have the energy nor the time to do that. But overall it fits into the series and that's what matters. Prompt number 19, Plumpkin. I ended up turning this prompt into another Harry Potter fan art for this series, or at least I created a prop that fits into the extended universe or something like that. The whole story is told through that plate on the exhibition stand. In short, James Sirius Potter and Fred Weasley II memory charmed the residents of Hogsmeade into believing that carving magically engorged plums is the Halloween tradition, instead of doing it with pumpkins. This whole story was just an afterthought because the idea was originally just a carved plum. Prompt number 20, mostly ghostly. Here comes the prompt when I literally did nothing but start to scribble some ghostly figure, and this is what it turned out to be. A few minutes in I decided to turn this into one of those ghosts from Scooby-Doo, from that famous season 1 episode, and just go with whatever looks nice. I actually used a few works of Adam Duff as references for the clothing. He's a creator who can render really good looking materials, clothing, all sorts of these weird creatures, and that was the energy that I was going after in this picture. You're not fooling me, cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. Prompt number 21, Franken Friday. Today's happy little accident. I decided to paint a Frankenstein monster who just happens to be around Camp Crystal Lake and has the mask and the machete of Jason Voorhees. Guess what happened? I ended up with a young Jason Voorhees, who also happens to have some scars and that metal rod in his neck, and I'm not complaining, it ended up maybe technically one of the best from this series. Everything just somehow clicked and this is the end result. Let's call him Little Jason Stein. Prompt number 22, Double Trouble. I wanted to do something with the Grady twins from the classic movie The Shining, but you know they already have 9,999 pictures made of them, so I didn't want to make picture number 10,000 because I'm original and special. So I made them as conjoined twins, inspired by the twins from the American Horror Story season 4, and of course I put the model of the hedge maze behind them and the blood from Danny's visions, just to make sure that everybody will recognize them in their natural habitat, however morbid that may sound. Number 23, Goth Moth. After I successfully broke my tongue, here's today's prompt. My third character from the painting The Nightmare. First I wanted almost like an anthropomorphic moth person, like it just vaguely resembles a human. But you know how it goes, I just started scribbling and I ended up with this, for lack of a better term, a goth lady who has what wings? Maybe I would have started this over if I had time for that, but it still ended up pretty okay, and maybe even more people would like this design than the full anthropomorphic moth. Maybe I'll do that one day. Prompt number 24. Candlelight Fright. I feel like I fell into a pretty big trap early on while working on this painting, namely that I had really high expectations. Then, instead of doing any backtracking, I just kept pushing forward the same idea, even after I realized that it doesn't really work anymore. This picture is of a Victorian lady trying to investigate some strange noises in her mansion, only to find herself facing a 21st century ghost hunter, therefore telling the viewer that she is the ghost of this mansion. The whole execution just ended up a little bit weaker than I expected. Prompt number 26. Triple. This prompt was the base for the whole giant picture. 3 giant tree branches are holding the 3 main platforms where the little scenes take place. The environment is like a landscape from another dimension after Castle Orlak was sucked into some portal, or it's like a dreamscape with the pieces of the castle. It is really just some giant abstract environment that can hold all the characters of the challenge. Prompt number 25. Fang Club. It's time to add a piece of infamous internet history to the picture. This is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway, the main character of the legendary Harry Potter fanfiction called My Immortal. She's a gothic vampire witch who goes to Hogwarts. She has an overall awful manner and a huge ego, kinda reminds me of myself. Those who know the story will know why I chose her for this prompt. Also very important, it was confirmed she is 100% not a Mary Sue. Source? Trust me bro, I'm an expert after all. Prompt number 27. Drawlloween. For this prompt I made a picture of Count Dracula the way he was described in the book. For those who are unaware, Nosferatu was the first unofficial adaptation of Dracula. The studio decided to go with a really budget-friendly business strategy, namely they made the adaptation but didn't pay royalties, and they would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for Bram Stoker's meddling widow. She sued them into bankruptcy and only one copy of the movie remained that was lost for decades until someone miraculously found it. And this is a picture based on that story. Prompt number 28. Ocean oddities. From the start I knew that I will make a character based on many works of H.P. Lovecraft for this prompt. I made references to his works many times in the past. This time I just wanted to create some eldritch creature or this turned cultist person or something. Someone who used to be a priest of Cthulhu but ended up transforming into this cephalopod creature who is waiting his master's awakening under the sea, looking over the submerged guide stones, or something along these lines. I left this work just as vague as most of his stories. Prompt number 29. Hello Kitty. I had the intentions of making a fan art for Pet Sematary, the Stephen King novel, but you know, that's just a simple cat who is sitting by a grave or something, so I just wanted to add something extra to it. And I combined it with a reference to Hamlet, but instead of a human holding a human skull, it's a cat holding a cat skull. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit morbid, but also cute in its own regards. Nearing the deadline, I started rushing a little bit, and this is the picture that maybe was the most affected by it. It is what it is, but it fits into the project. Prompt number 30. Scary Tale ending. I made a picture of Little Red Riding Hood this year as well, but now I made her into a werewolf hunter instead of the victim of the wolf. Funny thing, I originally wanted to give the basket into her hand and just turn her into an adult Little Red Riding Hood, but then I changed it into a werewolf hunting kit, and then, only then, I realized that wait, that doesn't make sense. Why would she just carry that wooden suitcase bag thingy instead of a basket? But it was too late to change it, so it remained that. But at least this character design turned out better this way. Prompt number 31. Rest and recap. Very last prompt. Well, there won't be no rest for me because I was awake all night long to finish the last 2 pictures and I still have to edit a lot. But for the recap part I decided to recreate my very first Halloween illustration that I sadly cannot find anymore. It was just a really cheap photo manipulation with the somebody is coming out from the mysterious door in the forest theme, and it was a guy with a pumpkin head, and now I recreated that with my current knowledge. And now the only thing that is left is giving the final touches to the big picture. And now I want to say a huge thank you for every single viewer who watched through this video, who was with me through this challenge. I know that there are very few people who actually care about my works and who will most likely see this video. So thank you very much that you are here. It means a lot to me, honestly. I just cannot say anything as nice as how you make me feel if you actually reach this point. This giant project took 2 months for me, and you know how it goes. It's quite often a mentally draining process, but I feel like that I learned a lot during these 2 months and during the making of these 30 or 31 art pieces. And wherever you spend Halloween or the Day of the Dead or any other holiday that is going on right now in the world, I want to wish you the best, and I wish that you will have a good time with the people that you want to spend this holiday with. And this was me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Do some art, even if it includes 2 months of continuous work on one giant Halloween painting. And most importantly, have fun while doing that. Farewell.